As we've been on the air, the Attorney General is announcing the Trump administration is now filing charges against the state of New York and its top officials. Why? Watch this.
New York has chosen to prioritize illegal aliens over American citizens. It stops today. New York didn't listen. So now you're next.
So part of this immigration push from the Trump administration. But it comes as we're also seeing immigrant rights advocates led by the ACLU file their own suit asking a federal judge to require the Trump administration to give migrants detained at Guantanamo Bay, migrants including the ones you're seeing here, access to lawyers. So yet another lawsuit now against something that President Trump or his administration has done. And you've already seen the way that federal courts have slowed or stopped or held up in some capacity some of the other moves that the Trump administration has tried to take, setting up what could be a high-stakes showdown between the executive and judicial branches of government. President Trump, right before we came on the air, talking about that tonight. Watch.
I follow the courts. I have to follow the law. All it means is that we appeal. But that gives people time to cover their tracks.
I want to bring in Gabe Gutierrez, who looks like he's outside the West Wing of the White House now tonight, Gabe. And let's start with this lawsuit now that it is a civil suit, I believe, that the DOJ is filing against the state of New York. And really, it's kind of a microcosm of this clash that the Trump administration has had, that the president himself has had with the city of New York, the state of New York, as it relates to immigration now for a while.
Yeah, that's right, Hallie. Yes, greetings from a wet and rainy West Wing here outside the White House. But yeah, Attorney General Pam Bondi really, arguing that the Trump administration really trying to back up what it's been doing thus far, backing up Elon Musk and saying that that the administration is merely going by the will of the people. A lot of millions of people voted for Donald Trump, and we've heard the administration over and over again trying to make that case that, in their words, what they view as activist judges trying to get in the way of what this administration is doing. The Attorney General is not shy at all about saying that this could go all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. And we expect that to play out not just in this case, Hallie, but in many of the other legal challenges and legal battles that we see playing out in Washington and across the country right now, Hallie.
We also heard Pam Bondi, again, the new AG, talk about Elon Musk and the lawsuits the administration is facing as we talk about these legal challenges here on some of the executive orders that Musk and his Doge group, Department of Government Efficiency, are tasked to carry out.
Yeah, that's right. And she says that she will back up Elon Musk and what the Department of Government Efficiency is doing. Of course, we heard from Elon Musk for the first time taking questions since President Trump took office right behind me here in the West Wing. And he was emphatic that this is a mandate that the Trump administration was given by the American people. So we've heard over and over again from the White House that they plan to fight this vigorously, and they expect to be vindicated in court, Howard.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.